Hey guys, tonight we're diving into the glittering cutthroat world of Julius Caesar, the man who didn't just have wealth, he was wealth ruling Rome, with gold charisma and a knack for dodging disaster. Before we start, hit that like button. If you're ready to walk the marble streets of ancient Rome, subscribe to join the journey and drop a comment with where you're watching from and what time it is. Now dim the lights, maybe grab a snack, preferably not stale Roman bread, and let's step into the chaos of Caesar's empire of wealth. Picture this. You're Julius Caesar, born in 100 BC, a scrawny kid with a big name and bigger dreams standing in the heart of Rome, where the air's thick with the stench of the Tiber River, sour wine, and the faint perfume of incense drifting from temples. Your family's got prestige, sure. The Julii claim descent from Venus herself, which is Roman, for we're kind of a big deal. But here's the kicker. Your purse is emptier than a gladiator's promise after a bad fight. The Subura. Your neighborhood isn't exactly prime real estate. It's a sweaty, noisy maze of crumbling tenements where laundry flaps over narrow alleys and the shouts of street vendors mix with the squeal of pigs headed for sacrifice. You're a noble, but you're broke, and in Rome, that's like being a chariot with no wheels, fancy, but going nowhere fast. Rome's a city of contrasts, and you feel it every day. Marble temples gleam on the Capitoline Hill, where senators in pristine togas debate the fate of empires, but down in the Subura, you're dodging chamber pots dumped from windows and sidestepping drunks who smell like they bathed in vinegar. Wealth isn't just money here. It's power status, the ability to make men bull or armies march. The elite, the patricians, flaunt their gold rings and purple-trimmed togas, dining on peacock tongues, while their clients, loyal hangers-on, crowd their doorsteps for scraps of influence. You're one of them, a patrician, but your family's glory days are fading like a fresco in the rain. Your dad, Gaius Julius, was a decent guy, a praetor once, but he died when you were 16, leaving you with a famous name, a widowed mom, and a whole lot of nothing in the bank. Being a Caesar means you're expected to act like you own the place, even when your tunic's threadbare and your sandals are held together with hope. You're taught to walk tall, speak with the confidence of Jupiter himself, and flash a smile that says, "I'm destined for greatness." But greatness costs coin, and Rome's not a city that hands out free lunches unless you count the moldy bread tossed to the plebs during festivals. The Forum's just a short walk away, a sprawling plaza where deals are made, speeches echo, and ambition hangs in the air like dust after a chariot race. You watch the big players, men like Crassus, who's got more gold than a dragon's hoard, or Pompey, whose legions could crush a rebellion before breakfast. They're the ones you need to impress outsmart or outlast, because in Rome, you're either climbing the ladder or getting trampled under it. Your mom, Aurelia, is your secret weapon. She's no ordinary Roman matron, content to weave wool and nod politely. She's sharp-connected and runs the household like a general, making sure you're educated in rhetoric, law, and the art of not getting stabbed in a back alley. She drills into you that the Julii name is a key, but it's up to you to unlock the vault. You're schooled in Greek philosophy, memorize Cicero's speeches, and practice swordplay in a courtyard barely big enough for a donkey to turn around. Every lesson's a reminder. You're not just a kid, you're a project molded to restore the family's faded star. But education's expensive, and Aurelia's bartering favors with distant cousins to keep the tutors coming. You're already in debt, and you're not even old enough to shave. The Subura's your playground, and it's a rough one. You dodge gangs of street kids who'd rob you for a crust of bread, but you also learn their tricks how to talk fast, charm a crowd, or slip out of a fight with a grin. These streets teach you Rome's pulse, the plebs, the working stiffs who cheer for chariot races and curse the Senate are the city's heartbeat. Win them, and you win Rome. You start to see the game. Wealth isn't just gold, it's loyalty influence, the roar of a crowd chanting your name. But for now, you're nobody a teenager with a fancy lineage and a toga that's seen better days watching senators parade past with entourages bigger than your entire family. Rome's political scene is a snake pit, and you're starting to notice. The republic's creaking under its own weight, senators bicker, generals flex their legions, and the poor riot when grain prices spike. Sulla, the dictator who reshaped Rome with blood and iron, is a name whispered with fear. He's your uncle's old rival, and when you're 17, you marry Cornelia, the daughter of Sulla's enemy, Cinna. Bold move, kid. It's a middle finger to Sulla, but it also paints a target on your back. When Sulla demands you divorce her, you refuse, part love, part defiance, and suddenly you're on the run, hiding in the hills while his goons hunt you down. Your mom pulls strings, begs favors, and somehow gets you pardoned, but you've learned a lesson in Rome. Wealth and power come with a body count. You're back in the city now, but the Subura's still home. Its smells and sounds burned into you. Roasting chestnuts, sour sweat, the clatter of carts at dawn. You're not rich, not yet, but you're starting to dream bigger than your neighborhood. The forums, where it happens, where men like you can rise or fall in a single speech. You practice your oratory, pacing your tiny room, gesturing like you're addressing thousands. Every word's a weapon, every smile a strategy. You're not just Julius Caesar, you're a work in progress, a noble with no gold, but a fire in your gut that says you'll outshine them all. The Julii name is your birthright, but it's heavy like a crown you can't afford to wear yet. Your first taste of the game comes early. You're elected to minor posts. Flamen Dialis, a fancy priest gig sounds nice, but it's a dead end. You ditch it for something with more juice, military tribune. You're off to Asia Minor, serving under generals who don't know your name, but notice your nerve. You win a civic crown for bravery, a wreath that screams, I'm going places, but it's not enough. Rome's a city where wealth buys votes, and votes buy power. You're borrowing from moneylenders, racking up debts to fund your next move, because in this town, you fake it till you make it. The Suburas taught you grit, your moms taught you strategy, and the forums teaching you ambition. You're not rich yet, but you're Caesar, and you're betting everything on one truth. Rome rewards the bold. The city's alive around you, a beast that never sleeps. Temples glow with torchlight, sacrifices burn for Jupiter, and the roar of the Circus Maximus echoes in the distance. You're not at the top, not even close, but you can see it, the Palatine Hill, where the elite live in villas that mock your cramped apartment. Every day you walk past shops selling silk from the East, spices from India, and slaves from Gaul, reminders that Rome's wealth is the world's wealth, and you want your share. You're not just a noble anymore. You're a player, learning the rules of a game, where the stakes are gold, glory, and your life. The Subura's behind you now, but its lessons linger like the ache in your bones from those cold, damp nights. You're in your 20s back in Rome, and the city's a pressure cooker. Senators scheming, plebs grumbling, and moneylenders circling like vultures. You've got the Julii name, a civic crown, and a reputation for defiance, but your bank account's a bad joke. Wealth in Rome isn't just coin. It's the power to bend the republic to your will, and you're learning fast that power comes at a price. You're hustling, piling up debts to play the game, because in this city you don't climb the cursus, honorum, the ladder of offices, without greasing palms and dazzling crowds. Every move's a gamble, and you're all in betting borrowed gold on your own ambition. You start small running for quester in 69 BC, a junior magistrate gig that's less about glory and more about balancing Rome's books while dodging corrupt officials. It's a slog, counting grain shipments, auditing temples. But it gets you to Spain, where you see how Rome's provinces bleed wealth into the city's coffers. The locals pay taxes tribute, and sometimes their freedom, and you're starting to understand the math. Control the edges of the empire, and you control the gold that fuels the center. Spain's a wake-up call. You're 31, inspecting mines and garrisons, when you hear about Alexander the Great, who conquered half the world by your age. Legend has it, you wept staring at a statue of him, because you've done nothing but charm senators and dodge debt collectors. True or not, that story's you hungry, restless, ready to burn the rule book. Back in Rome, you're not just another noble anymore. You're a showman. The Edile Post in 65 BC is your chance to shine, and you don't hold back. Aediles oversee public works, temples, sewers, festivals, but you turn it into a circus. You stage gladiator fights with 320 pairs more than anyone's seen, and the crowd roars your name like you're Jupiter himself. Chariots race, actors perform, and you toss free wine to the plebs, all on credit. The bill's astronomical. Your creditors are practically camping outside your door, but you know Rome's secret. The mob loves a spectacle, and loyalty's cheaper than gold. Your toga's pristine, your smile's unbreakable. But behind the scenes, you're juggling loans from men like Crassus, the guy who could buy half the Senate with pocket change. The forum's your stage now, and you're learning to work it. You give speeches that drip with charm, praising the Republic while subtly reminding everyone you're descended from gods. Your voice carries over the crowd, honed by years of rhetoric lessons, and you gesture like you're sculpting the air. But it's not just talk. You're throwing cash at everything. Temples get shiny new roofs, streets get paved, and you fund it all with borrowed denarii. Your rivals stuffy, optimates like Cato call you reckless, but you see their game. They hoard wealth to stay elite while you spend to win the people. Every coin you drop is an investment, every cheer a stepping stone. You're not rich yet, but you're building something better, a following. Debt's your shadow, though, and it's growing. You're borrowing from anyone with a pulse, moneylenders' allies, even shady types who'd sell their own kids for interest. Crassus is your biggest backer, a walking vault who smells opportunity in your ambition. He's not charity, he's a shark, and you're his bet. You're spending faster than Rome, mince coins, and whisper start Caesars in over his head. But you're not worried, or at least you don't show it. You've seen what happens to men who play it safe in Rome. They're forgotten their names, dust in the forum. You'd rather burn out than fade, and every lavish banquet, every gilded statue is a middle finger to the doubters. Your personal life's a Roman soap opera, and it's not helping the budget. Cornelia, your first wife died, young, leaving you with your daughter Julia. You remarried to Pompeia, a senator's granddaughter, because alliances matter more than love in this town. Your house is modest. Subura roots die hard, but you're hosting dinners that rival the Palatine's elite, serving dormice and ostrich, while poets recite your praises. It's all a front, of course. The plates are silver, but the debts are lead weighing you down. You're walking a tightrope, and one misstep could send you tumbling into ruin or worse obscurity. Then comes the Pontifex Maximus gig. In 63 BC, Rome's top priest, a role usually reserved for gray-haired senators. You're 37 barely eligible, but you want it not for the gods, but for the clout. It's a lifelong post with a fancy house on the sacred way and a voice in Rome's soul. The election's a brawl, and you go all in, bribing voters with cash you don't have. Your rivals, old-school types like Catullus, throw shade accusing you of buying the gods' favor. You win anyway, and the crowd cheers as you don the priestly robes, but your creditors aren't clapping. You're in debt up to your eyeballs, and the whispers turn to shouts, Caesar's broke, and he's dragging Rome with him. You're not broke, though. You're strategic. The pontifex role gives you a platform, a sacred aura, and a new address closer to the action. You move out of the Subura, but you don't forget it. Those gritty streets taught you how to read a crowd, how to turn a riot into a rally. You're starting to see the bigger picture. Rome's not just a city, it's a machine, and wealth is the oil that keeps it running. You're charming the plebs, schmoozing senators, and keeping Crassus happy, all while planning your next move. The praetorship in 62 B.C. is another rung up the ladder, but it's Spain again that changes everything. You're sent to Hispania Ulterior as pro-praetor, governing a chunk of Spain that's more dust than gold. But you're not here to sightsee. You're here to get rich. The locals are restless tribes who don't love Rome's taxes, and you don't hesitate. You lead campaigns, crush rebellions, and pacify the region, which is Roman, for take everything that's not nailed down. Gold, silver, and cattle pour in, and you're not shy about skimming. Your soldiers get their cut, your creditors get paid, and suddenly you're not just a debtor, you're a player with actual coin. You're negotiating with chieftains, taxing merchants, and sending chests of loot back to Rome, all while writing dispatches that make you sound like a hero. Spain's where you start to feel it. The weight of wealth, not just as debt, but as power. You're not swimming in gold yet, but you're close, and the taste of it's addictive. You're buying loyalty funding your next campaign and making sure Rome hears your name. The Senate's starting to notice, and not all of them are happy. Cato's out there preaching about virtue, but you know his type, jealous, scared clinging to a republic that's already cracking. You're not just hustling anymore. You're building a machine of your own, fueled by gold and ambition. The form's brighter now, or maybe it's just you. You're back in Rome, praetor's stripes on your toga, and the plebs cheer when you pass. You're still borrowing, still spending, but it's different. Now you're not just chasing wealth, you're weaponizing it. Crassus is your bank poppies, your muscle, and you're the brains forming the first triumvirate in 60 B.C., a secret pact to run Rome like a cartel. You're not the richest man yet, but you're close, and every denarius, every handshake, is a step toward owning the city. The Subura kid's gone, replaced by a man who knows Rome's price and is ready to pay it. You're back from Spain pockets, heavier and eyes sharper, strutting into Rome like you own the Forum. The year's 59 B.C., and you're running for consul, the Republic's top job, a seat that puts you at the helm of Rome's sprawling machine. But the consulship isn't won with good intentions, it's bought with gold promises and a knack for making enemies nervous. You've got the Julii name, a trail of victories, and the first triumvirate behind you. Crassus with his endless wealth, Pompey with his legions, and you, the smooth-talking glue holding it together. The Suburas taught you how to win a crowd, Spain's taught you how to win a war, and now you're about to learn how to win Rome itself. Every step's a gamble, and you're playing with borrowed time and borrowed coin, because in this city, wealth isn't just power, it's survival. The election's a circus, and you're the ringmaster. You campaign hard, tossing gold to voters like it's confetti, funding feasts where plebs gorge on roasted boar and cheap wine. Your speeches are fire-blending charm and menace, promising land for veterans and bread for the poor, while reminding senators you're not to be crossed. Cato and his optimates. The old guard snobs call you a populist thug, accusing you of buying votes. They're not wrong, but you don't care Rome's a market, and you're the best salesman. You win the consulship sharing it with Bibulus, a stuffed toga who's more decoration than partner. The plebs chant your name, and the forum shakes with their cheers, but you feel the daggers in every jealous glance. Wealth got you here, but it's also painting a bullseye on your back. Being consul feels like juggling flaming torches while riding a chariot. You're 41, and Rome's yours to steer, but the Senate's a nest of vipers, and your allies are only as loyal as your last payout. You push laws that make you a hero to the masses, land reforms to give farms to Pompey's veterans, debt relief for the poor. But every decree pisses off the elite. Bibulus tries to block you, whining about omens to stall votes, but you're not playing by their rules. You strong-arm the Senate, stage public rallies, and let the plebs' roars drown out the opposition. Crassus bankrolls your moves, and Pompey's soldiers loom in the background, a not-so-subtle hint to your enemies. You're spending gold faster than Rome can mint it, but it's working your names on every lip from the Subura's slums to the Palatine's villas. Your consulship's a masterclass in turning wealth into power, but it's not all smooth sailing. You're making enemies faster than you're making allies, and the optimates are plotting. To cement your grip, you marry off your daughter Julia to Pompey. Nothing says, we're in this together, like a wedding. You take a new wife, too, Calpurnia, tying yourself to another powerful family. Every move's a deal, every smile a contract. You're also splashing cash on public works temples gleam with fresh marble, and the forum's getting a facelift all branded with your name. It's not vanity, it's strategy. The plebs love a generous patron, and you're giving them spectacles to remember, gladiator fights, chariot races, even a mock naval battle that floods a field. The bill's staggering, but you're not paying it alone. Crassus and your provincial friends are footing the tab, and they expect favors in return. Your enemies aren't idle, though. Cato's preaching about the Republic's virtue, and Cicero's writing snarky letters about your tyranny. You're bending rules, ignoring sacred traditions, and the Senate's starting to smell blood. You need a bigger stage something to drown out the critics and refill your coffers. That's where Gaul comes in. In 58 BC, your consulship ends, and you're named governor of Cisalpine Gaul and Illyricum, with a bonus chunk of Transalpine Gaul thrown in. It's not a vacation, it's a gold mine. Gaul's a wild frontier, full of tribes who don't bow to Rome, and you see opportunity where others see barbarians. You've got 5 legions a blank check from Crassus, and a plan conquer loot, and come back richer than Croesus. You hit Gaul like a thunderstorm, and the next 8 years are a blur of blood and gold. The Gallic Wars are your masterpiece, a brutal campaign that turns you into Rome's richest man, not just in coin, but in power. You're not just fighting, you're pillaging. Villages burn, chieftains kneel, and gold torques pile up in your tents. You enslave tens of thousands, some say 1 million. If you trust the old scrolls flooding Rome's markets with cheap labor and driving down prices. Every slave sold is a denarius in your pocket, and you're not shy about taxing conquered tribes or accepting their tributes. Your legions love you. You pay them, well share the loot, and lead from the front, your red cloak, a beacon in the fog of battle. The Aedui, the Helvetii, Vercingetorix, they all fall, and with each victory, your war chest grows. Gaul's not just about gold, though it's about glory. You send dispatches back to Rome, written in crisp prose, that makes you sound like a god. The Senate reads them aloud, and the plebs eat it up, crowding the forum for news of your triumphs. You're building bridges over rivers, crushing armies twice your size, and even invading Britain just to flex. Back home, you're funding temples and games to keep the plebs happy, all while dodging Cato's attempts to prosecute you for war crimes. You're untouchable, or so it seems. Your wealth's a weapon, now buying senators, arming legions, and paving your road to power. But Rome's not Gaul here. Gold buys loyalty, but it also buys envy. Your personal life's a mess, but you're too busy to care. Calpurnia's holding down the fort in Rome, but you're in Gaul, cozying up to Cleopatra in Egypt, where you detour in 48 BC after chasing Pompey. She's a queen, you're a conqueror, and the pearls you gift her could buy a small city. Your daughter Julia's death in 54 BC cracks your alliance with Pompey and the triumvirate's fraying. Crassus dies in Parthia, leaving you and Pompey to glare across the Republic like rival wolves. You're richer than ever, but wealth's a double-edged sword. The more you have, the more Rome expects, and the more your enemies plot. You're not just a general now, you're a threat, and the Senate's sharpening its knives. By 50, BC Gaul's yours, and so's the gold. You've got enough to pay off your debts, arm a private army, and bribe half the Senate, but Rome's calling you back, and not for a parade. The Optimates want you stripped of command, prosecuted, maybe exiled. You've got a choice bow to the Senate, or roll the dice. You're not the Subura kid anymore. Scraping for coin, you're a warlord, with legions who'd die for you. The Rubicon River's ahead, a muddy line between obedience and rebellion. You stand on its banks, January 49th, BC, your cloak snapping in the wind, and you know what wealth's bought you the chance to break Rome or rule it. You mutter. The die is cast and cross your legions splashing behind you. The Republic's about to learn what your gold can do. Civil war's a beast, and you're its master. You chase Pompey across Greece, Egypt, and beyond your wealth, fueling every march. You're not just fighting battles. You're buying loyalty, bribing cities to open their gates, and paying spies to whisper Pompey's plans. By 48 BC, Pompey's dead, betrayed in Egypt, and you're mopping up his allies. You're spending like there's no tomorrow games, grain handouts, even a new forum with your name on it. The plebs love you, but the Senate's another story. They're calling you a tyrant, and they're not entirely wrong. Your gold's built an empire, but it's also built a cage, and you're starting to feel the bars. You're in Rome now, 48 BC, fresh from victories in Egypt and the East, your war chest overflowing with Gallic gold, Egyptian grain, and the spoils of a civil war you've all but won. The Republic's on its knees, and you're the one holding the reins named dictator for a year to restore order. The forum's a stage, and you're rewriting the script using wealth to reshape Rome itself. Your enemies, Pompey's dead, Cato's fled, are scattered, but new ones are sprouting like weeds. You're not just rich, you're Rome's pulse, its banker, its general, its god. But every coin you spend, every statue you raise, tightens the noose. Power's a hungry beast, and you're feeding it with gold you know can't buy trust. Dictatorship's a strange fit, like a toga cut for someone else. You're 52, and Rome's yours to mold, but the Senate's a sullen crowd muttering about liberty while pocketing your bribes. You start with reforms, big ones, because wealth isn't just for show. It's for fixing a city that's been cracking for decades. You overhaul the courts, cutting corruption, so trials aren't just auctions for the highest bidder. You expand citizenship to loyal provinces, tying them closer to Rome's heart, and you tweak the grain dole, making sure the plebs eat without bankrupting the treasury. The Julian calendar's your brainchild. 365 days a leap year every 4. No more lunar nonsense that throws festivals out of whack. It's practical, sure, but it's also a flex. Your name's on time itself, carved into every month. Your gold's flowing like the Tiber now, and you're spending it to dazzle. The Forum. Julium, your new pet project, is rising marble columns, a temple to Venus, Genetrix, your divine ancestor. It's not just a plaza. It's a billboard for your legacy funded by Gallic loot and Egyptian deals. You throw games that make your Edel days look cheap. Gladiators clash, elephants dance, and the plebs get free seats to a naval battle staged in a flooded basin. You're not just buying cheers, you're buying love, because in Rome, a happy mob is a loyal mob. Your house on the sacred way's modest, but you're dining like a king serving dishes from Numidia and wines from Greece, with Cleopatra as your guest, her pearl earrings glinting like small moons. The elite sneer, she's a foreign queen, too exotic for their taste, but you don't care. She's a partner, a bankroll, and a reminder that your wealth spans empires, but wealth's a spotlight, and it's showing cracks. You're living large, maybe too large. Your purple robes, your golden chair in the Senate, they're not dictator vibes, they're king vibes, and Rome hates kings. You're minting coins with your face on them, a first for a living Roman, and every clink in a merchant's purse is propaganda. You're generous, sure, forgiving debts, handing out land to veterans, but it's not enough to quiet the whispers. Senators like Brutus, your protégé, and Cassius, a bitter old ally, are starting to meet in shadowed corners. They're not just jealous of your gold, they're scared of your power. You're breaking the Republic's rules, stacking offices like a gambler stacks chips, and they see a crown you haven't worn yet. You're not blind to the danger, but you're defiant. In 44 BC, you're named Dictator, Perpetuo, Dictator for life, a title that's less a promotion and more a death warrant. You're at your peak, your treasury bursting, your legions loyal, your name echoing from Spain to Syria. You're planning a new campaign against Parthia, dreaming of gold and glory to dwarf even Gaul. Your house is a revolving door of clients, merchants begging favors, poets singing your praises, and spies reporting every whisper. You're sleeping, less haunted by dreams of betrayal, and Calpurnia's starting to look at you like you're a ghost. You shrug it off because you've dodged knives before Sulla's goons, Gallic spears, Pompey's plots. Wealth's your shield, and ambition's your sword. The Senate's your stage now, and you play it like a master. You grant clemency to old enemies, seating them in plush chairs you paid for, but their smiles are thin. You're pushing reforms faster, debt laws, land grants, even plans to drain marshes for new farms. Every move's a gift to Rome, but it's also a slap to the optimates who clutch their traditions like a drowning man clutches driftwood. You're not just ruling, you're remaking the Republic in your image, and it's costing you friends. Brutus, your mother's old flame, and maybe your son is acting distant. Cassius keeps his eyes down like he's hiding a blade. You notice, but you don't flinch. You're the man who crossed the Rubicon, who turned debt into an empire. What's a few grumpy senators? Your extravagance is peaking, and Rome's eating it up, or so you think. You stage a triumph, 4 days of parades that make Gaul look like a warm-up. War chariots roll, chained chieftains shuffle, and gold statues gleam under the sun. The plebs get free grain wine, even cash 20 denarii per head, enough for a month's rent. You're not just generous, you're rewriting what wealth means, turning it into a public good. But the elite aren't cheering. They see a man who's too big, too rich, too close to divine. You're declared a god with priests and a temple in your name. And when a soothsayer warns, beware the Ides of March, you laugh it off. You've got gold legions and Rome's heart. What's a bad omen to a man who's beaten fate? March 15th, 44. B.C. dawns crisp, the Senate waiting at the theater of Pompey. You're late as usual, your purple toga catching the morning light. Calpurnia begged you to stay home. Bad dream, she said. But you're not one for omens. You walk in scrolls under your arm, planning to announce your Parthian campaign. The senators rise respectful, but their eyes are cold. You sit, and they close. In cloaks, rustling hands hidden. Brutus is there. Cassius too, and you catch a glint of steel. The first dagger strikes, then another, 3 in all, tearing through your toga, your flesh, your dreams. You fall at Pompey's statue blood, pooling on marble you paid for, and your last breath whispers, Et tu? Brute wealth bought you Rome, but it couldn't buy trust. The forum's silent as your body's carried out, wrapped in a blood-soaked toga. The plebs weep rioting when they hear torching homes of the conspirators. Your will's read days later, and it's a final masterstroke. You leave your gardens to the people, cash to every citizen, and your name to Octavian, your 18-year-old heir. Rome's in chaos, but your wealth keeps working, fueling a new war as Octavian Antony and Lepidus hunt your killers. Brutus and Cassius fall their armies no match for your legacy. The Republic's dead, and your gold's the nail in its coffin, paving the way for an empire you'll never see. Octavian takes your name, your fortune, and your vision, becoming Augustus Rome's first emperor. By 27 B.C., he's turned your reforms into a system, your wealth into a dynasty. The Forum. Julium stands its temple gleaming, and your calendar ticks on, centuries past your death. Rome grows its roads, stretching to Parthia, its aqueducts fed by your taxes. Your coins, stamped with your face, still jingle in markets, and poets, like Virgil, sing of a golden age you sparked. The Subura's gone quiet, but your name's loud Caesar, a title for emperors, a myth for the ages. Your wealth wasn't just gold. It was power, vision, the audacity to remake a world. Shakespeare writes you as a tragic king. Hollywood casts you as a conqueror, and every Caesar salad is a nod to your name. But your real legacy's deeper. You showed that wealth can build empires, but ambition builds history. Rome's marble shines because of you. Its roads carry your shadow. You weren't just rich, you were the spark that turned a republic into an eternal flame. Your death leaves Rome reeling, a city unmoored without its richest ruler. The Forum, once alive with your speeches and spectacles, is now a pyre of grief and rage. Plebs clash with soldiers, torches flare in the Subura, and the Senate cowers as your blood stains their hands. Your will read, days later, is a grenade you've left 75 drachmas to every citizen, your private gardens as public parks, and your name to Octavian, a lanky teenager with your cunning but none of your charm. The Republic's cracking, and your wealth, gold, loyalty, legacy is the wedge splitting it open. You're gone, but your empire of wealth is just getting started, reshaping Rome and history itself, with every coin and conquest that bears your mark. Octavian's your heir, but he's not you. At 18, he's a nobody, a great-nephew you adopted on a whim, but your will makes him Caesar's son, Divus Julius, son of a god, no less. He inherits your fortune, your clients, and your vision, but also your enemies. Brutus and Cassius are strutting, calling themselves liberators, while Antony, your old wingman, thinks he's the real successor, rallying your legions with speeches that drip with your charisma. Rome's a chessboard, And your golds, the pieces moved by hands you no longer control. Octavian's smart, though too smart for a kid. He empties your treasury to pay veterans, wins the plebs with your cash, and starts building a coalition. Your wealth's his weapon, and he's learning to wield it like you did, only colder, more calculated. The second triumvirate. Octavian, Antony, and Lepidus forms in 43 BC a shaky alliance to hunt your killers. They're bankrolled by your fortune, taxing Rome's elite and seizing estates to fund their war. Your name's their banner, your gold their fuel. They track Brutus and Cassius to Philippi, Greece, in 42 BC, where 2 battles crush the liberators. Brutus falls on his sword, Cassius too, and your death's avenged. But the cost is Rome's soul. The triumvirate's proscriptions hit lists of senators and knights, fill their coffers with confiscated wealth, echoing the blood you spilled in Gaul. Your legacies, a paradox. You built Rome up, but your death tears it down, and your gold greases the wheels of both. Antony's got your flair, but not your discipline. He's off in Egypt, tangled with Cleopatra, spending your eastern spoils on banquets, while Octavian plays the long game in Rome. Your forum, Julium finished, now gleams as a monument to your divine status, its temple packed with offerings from plebs who pray to you like a god. Octavian leans into it, calling himself son of Caesar, minting coins with your star-crowned face. He's not just inheriting your wealth, he's stealing your myth. By 31 BC, the triumvirate's dead, and Actium's where it ends. Octavian's ships sink. Antony's, Cleopatra's gold, no match for your heir's strategy. Antony's gone, Cleopatra too, and Octavian stands alone. Your fortune, his to mold. In 27 BC, Octavian becomes Augustus, Rome's first emperor, and your wealth's the foundation. He takes your reformed citizenship courts the calendar and makes them permanent, turning a creaking republic into a marble empire. Your gold funds aqueducts that gush clean water, roads that stretch to Parthia, and legions that guard frontiers you only dreamed of. The Pax Romana, his golden age, is your dream. Realized Rome's not just a city, it's the world, and your name's on every cornerstone. The Senate's a puppet show, now packed with your clients' sons, and the plebs still eat free grain you started handing out. Your forum's a pilgrimage site where merchants and farmers kneel before your statue, whispering thanks for the stability you bought with blood. Your coins, stamped with your profile jingle from Gaul to Syria, a currency of power that outlives you. Augustus mints more, blending your face with his, and every transaction's a reminder Caesar made Rome rich. Your calendar's the empire's heartbeat, ticking through centuries, and July, named for you, is a month no one can erase. Your reforms land for veterans' taxes, streamlined, keep Rome's engine humming, and Augustus builds on them, creating a bureaucracy that runs like a machine. Your wealth wasn't just denarii, it was the system. You hacked the loyalty, you bought the vision, you sold. Augustus isn't you, but he's your shadow stretching across an empire that's yours in all but name. Rome's not the only thing you reshape. Your story, your wealth, becomes a myth that echoes beyond the Tiber. Poets like Virgil weave you into Rome's destiny, calling you the spark of Aeneas's line, a demigod who birthed an eternal city. The plebs tell tales of your generosity, how you gave them games, grain, hope, and forget the bodies you left in Gaul. Your name's a title, now Caesar passed to emperors like Tiberius, Caligula, Nero, each one claiming your gold and your glory, even if they fumble both. Your forum. Julium's dwarfed by new ones, but its stones still stand weathered by time, but not by memory. Every road, every aqueduct, every legionary's paycheck carries your fingerprints a wealth that builds empires long after your heart stops. The world beyond Rome feels you too. In Alexandria, scribes copy your commentaries, your war diaries studying your tactics like scripture. In Athens, philosophers debate your ambition, some calling you a tyrant, others a genius. Your wealth's a story, now a lesson in power's price. By the time Rome falls centuries later, your name's still gold, carved into inscriptions from Britain to Egypt. Medieval kings dream of your legions, Renaissance painters give you a laurel crown, and Shakespeare turns you into tragedy. Your last words? Et tu, brood a cry that haunts stages. Your wealth's not just coin. It's the idea that one man with enough gold and guts can bend history. Today, your shadow's everywhere. Hollywood dresses you in armor, makes you a hero or a schemer, but always larger than life. Caesar is a brand salads, casinos, even dogs named for you. Your calendar runs our lives. Your roads lie under our highways. And your stories in every book about ambition gone wild. You're the guy who showed that wealth can buy an empire, but not safety. Power can win a city, but not a friend. Your gold built Rome, but your ambition built something bigger. A mirror for every dreamer who chases greatness and forgets the cost. The Subura's dust, the Forum's ruins, but your name's still a spark, lighting fires in minds that dare to want it all. You didn't just live, you rewrote what living means. Every skyscraper funded by a mogul's fortune, every politician buying votes with promises, every dreamer betting everything on a vision, they're all your heirs walking paths you paved. Your wealth was Rome's, but your legacy's ours, a reminder that gold can change the world, but only ambition can make it eternal. The Tiber still flows, the stars still rise, and somewhere in the quiet of history, your voice whispers, take the risk, cross the river, pay the price. Rome's gone, but you're not. You're the richest man not in coin, but in the story that never fades. The empire you sparked hums along its marble gleaming under Augustus's careful hands, but your wealth, your real wealth, isn't just the gold in Rome's vaults or the aqueducts carrying water to a million souls. It's the myth you've become, a name that's more than a man, a fire that burns through time. Augustus rules, but he's ruling in your shadow every decree, every coin, every temple, a nod to the Subura kid who gambled everything and won. Your death didn't end you. It made you eternal, and the world's still grappling with what you left behind, a legacy of wealth, ambition, and the sharp truth that power always has a price. Augustus is no fool. He takes your fortune and makes it a machine, turning your chaotic conquests into a system that lasts centuries. By 27 BC, he's emperor in all but name his title, princeps, a polite fiction for king. Your gold funds his Pax Romana, a peace that's more about control than harmony. But it works. Rome's roads stretch from the Atlantic to the Euphrates, paved with taxes you streamlined. Your Forum, Julium, with its temple to Venus, is a tourist trap for pilgrims who whisper your name like a prayer. Augustus builds his own Forum grander, but he keeps yours intact, a shrine to the god he calls his father. Your coins with your comet-crowned face still circulate, and every clink is a reminder Caesar paid for this world. Your reforms are the empire's bones. The Julian calendar with its 365 days and leap years keeps Rome's festivals on track, its merchants honest, its armies marching on time. July, named for you, rolls around every year, a quiet flex that outlives empires. You expanded citizenship, gave Gauls and Spaniards a stake in Rome, and Augustus doubles down, tying far-flung provinces to the city with loyalty and law. Your land grants to veterans thousands of acres carved from conquest become colonies, little Romes sprouting across the Mediterranean. Your wealth isn't just in vaults. It's in the fields, the roads, the ships that carry grain from Egypt, all running on systems you hacked into place. The Senate's a shadow of itself, packed with your allies' sons and new men you lifted from obscurity. Augustus plays them like a lyre, but it's your tune, centralized power loyalty over tradition. Your tax reforms, squeezing provinces without breaking them, fill Rome's coffers, and Augustus spends wisely temples to Apollo theaters, baths that make the Subura look like a ditch. The plebs, your old friends, eat free grain, watch free games, and live in a city that's cleaner, safer, richer because of you. They don't know it, but every loaf, every cheer is your gold at work, still buying love long after you're gone. Your military legacy's just as deep. The legions you raised paid with Gallic loot are Rome's spine guarding borders you redrew. Augustus professionalizes them, but it's your model soldiers loyal to their general, not the Senate. Your commentaries. Those crisp war diaries from Gaul are copied in every Roman school, teaching officers how to think, fight, and win like you. From Britain to Judea, centurions salute your name, their discipline forged in the chaos you tamed. Your wealth bought swords, but your ambition gave them purpose, turning a republic's militia into an empire's fist. Beyond Rome, your name's a currency. In Alexandria, merchants trade under your calendar, cursing its leap days, but using it anyway. In Athens, philosophers argue over you tyrant or savior, while their students read your words. Parthian kings who never bent to your legions still know your name a ghost that haunts their borders. Your wealth's a story now whispered in markets, sung by poets carved into stone. Virgil's Aeneid, bankrolled by Augustus, paints you as Rome's destined spark, a demigod whose blood runs through the empire's veins. You're not just a man, you're a myth, and myths don't die. The centuries roll and your legacy shifts, but never fades. Emperors take your name, Tiberius, Claudius, Trajan, each one a Caesar, their power rooted in your gold and guts. Your forum weathers storms, invasions fires, but its stones hold fast, a testament to the wealth you poured into Rome's heart. By the time the empire falls in 476 A.D., your name's bigger than Rome itself, a title for kings in Byzantium, Germany, Russia. The Holy Roman emperors claim you their crowns, a pale echo of your laurel wreath. Your calendar outlives them, all ticking through the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, right to today, where July still carries your name. Your story's a magnet pulling in dreamers and schemers. Medieval monks copy your commentaries, marveling at your prose. Renaissance painters give you a chiseled jaw and a tragic stare, their canvases funded by patrons who fancy themselves new Caesars. Shakespeare's quill turns you into a warning. Ambitions rise, betrayals fall. His words performed in theaters built on wealth you'd recognize. Every line, every stage is your gold, at work transformed into art that asks, was it worth it? Your answers, in the ruins, the books, the names that echo you. The modern world can't escape you. Napoleon studies your campaigns, his empire, a shadow of yours, funded by looted gold, like your Gallic halls. Politicians quote you their speeches chasing your rhetoric's fire. Hollywood dresses you in armor or togas, Russell Crowe growling your defiance, but they miss the real you, the Subura kid who turned debt into destiny. Your name's a brand now, Caesar, salads, Vegas casinos, even a comet named for your divine spark. Every Hail Caesar is a nod to the wealth that made you, the ambition that broke you, the myth that keeps you alive. Your legacy's not just marble or coin, it's a mirror. Every mogul stacking billions, every leader buying loyalty, every dreamer betting it all, they're your children chasing the same fire. Your gold built Rome, but your story built something bigger, a question. What's wealth worth if it buys a throne, but not a friend? Your life's the answer carved in every road, every law, every echo of Caesar. The Tiber flows, the Forum crumbles, but your spark burns on in every heart that dares to want more than the world can give. You taught us that wealth isn't just gold, it's power, vision, the audacity to rewrite the rules. Your empire's gone, but its ghost haunts our cities, our laws, our dreams. Every skyscraper funded by a tycoon's gamble, every election won on charisma and cash, every story of a nobody rising to rule, they're yours. You're not just history. You're the pulse of ambition, the price of greatness, the fire that never cools. Rome's ruins whisper your name, and we listen because you weren't just the richest man. You were the one who showed us what wealth can do and what it can't. Your name's a flame that never flickers, burning through time, from Rome's dusty ruins to the neon glow of modern cities. The empire you birthed under Augustus thrives for centuries. Its roads and laws, a testament to the wealth you wielded, but it's your myth, the story of a man who turned ambition into eternity that carries your true fortune. You're not just a chapter in history. You're the ink. It's written in a shadow, cast over every dreamer who chases power, pays its price, and hopes their name outlives their grave. Your gold's gone, scattered across empires, but your legacy's richer, a currency of ideas that buys immortality. Augustus dies in 14 A.D., and the Julio Claudian line, your blood, your name rules on. Tiberius Caligula, Claudius Nero, each calls himself Caesar. Their thrones built on your reforms, their legions paid with your vision. The Forum, Julium, your marble gift to Rome, stands amid new temples. Its Venus statue, a beacon for those who still pray to you as a god. Your calendar keeps the empire's pulse, its months ticking through triumphs and coups. July's your month, but every day's yours, in a way, because the systems you hacked, taxes, citizenship, loyalty, are the gears that keep Rome spinning, even when emperors fumble the crown. The empire grows swallowing lands you only glimpsed. Dacia, Britannia, Mesopotamia, its wealth a river fed by your Gallic conquests. Your tax reforms, fine-tuned by Augustus, pull gold from provinces without sparking revolt, a delicate dance you mastered in Spain. Aqueducts funded by your treasury's echoes pour water into Rome, where 1,000,000 souls drink, bathe, and curse in your shadow. The Colosseum rises its gladiator games, a bloodier version of your spectacles, and the plebs still cheer for bread, and circuses, a trick you wrote the book on. Your commentaries are studied by generals, their crisp prose, a blueprint for winning wars, and hearts from the Rhine to the Nile. Rome's not eternal, though. By 476 A.D., the Western empires, a husk sacked by barbarians who still whisper your name with awe. The East Byzantium carries your title, Caesar becomes Kaiser Tsar, and your laws shape their courts. The Holy Roman Empire, a patchwork of kings, claims your mantle, their crowns, chasing your laurel wreath. Your calendar survives, adopted by monks who scribble your battles in margins. Its leap years, a quiet nod to the man who tamed time. Your roads half buried still guide pilgrims, and your coins dug from fields spark tales of a golden age when one man's wealth held the world. The Middle Ages dim Rome's light, but not yours. Scholars in monasteries pore over your words, their Latin echoing your dispatches. Charlemagne crowned in 800 AD styles himself a new Caesar, his empire a flicker of your fire. Vikings trade your silver coins, their sagas praising warriors with your nerve. In Baghdad, caliphs read, translations of your campaigns nodding at your cunning. Your story's a bridge linking east and west, a wealth of ideas that no vault can hold. Your forum, Julium's a ruin. Now its columns chipped, but it draws poets who dream of a Rome you made possible, their verses funded by patrons who fancy your ambition. The Renaissance reignites you. Florence. Venice. Rome, cities flush with new wealth, see you as a mirror. Machiavelli pens, the prince half inspired by your ruthlessness, calling you the model for power. Painters like Michelangelo give you a godlike jaw, their frescoes glowing in palaces built on trade you'd recognize. Your commentaries are printed, spreading your voice to scholars and rebels alike. Shakespeare's stage brings you to life in 1599. Your betrayal, a warning to Elizabethan lords. Wealth buys power, but not safety. His words, et tu brute, carve your fall into culture, a tragedy richer than any coin. The modern world's your playground. Napoleon, storming Europe, keeps your commentaries by his bedside. His empire, a shadow of yours, funded by looted gold like your Gallic halls. The French Revolution's rebels chant your name, seeing you as Rome's populist, not its tyrant. In America, founding fathers debate your republic's fall, their constitution, a hedge against your ambition. Your calendar rules the globe. It's July anchoring summers from New York to Tokyo. Archaeologists dig your forum unearthing coins that still gleam, each one a whisper of the wealth that made you. Your stories taught in classrooms, a case study in how one man's gold can tilt history's scales. Hollywood grabs you, of course. From Cleopatra to Julius Caesar, you're the star-armored, betrayed, always larger than life. Russell Crowe's Maximus channels your defiance, even if he's fiction. Your name's a brand. Caesar salads, Vegas hotels, even a comet named for your divine spark. Politicians mimic your rhetoric, their campaigns chasing your charisma. Every Hail Caesar is a nod to the wealth that built Rome, the ambition that broke it. Your legacy's not just in movies or menus. It's in the DNA of power. Every CEO, every senator, every dreamer who bets everything on a vision. They're yours walking paths you carved. Your wealth's a paradox, though. You had gold Gallic torques, Egyptian grain, provincial taxes, but it was never enough. You spent it on legions, games, temples, always chasing the next win. Your real fortune was ambition, the fire that turned a Subura kid into a god. But fire burns, and yours consumed you 23 daggers, a bloodied toga, a senate too scared to follow you. Your story's a warning. Wealth can buy an empire, but not a friend. Power can win a city, but not a life. Shakespeare got it right. You were a colossus, but even giants fall. Yet you're still here. Every road from Rome, every law that binds every story of a nobody rising to rule carries your echo. Your forum's a ruin, but its stones speak, telling of a man who spent everything gold blood trust to make his name eternal. You did. From the Tiber's banks to the stars, your wealth's the idea that one person can change the world if they're willing to pay. The Subura's dust, the Republic's gone, but your spark lights every dream of greatness. every gamble on glory. You're not just history's richest man. You are its pulse. Every skyscraper built on a mogul's whim, every election swayed by charisma, every rebel who defies the odds, they're your heirs. Your gold's spent, but your ambition's a currency that never devalues, traded in hearts that dare to want more. Rome's marble crumbles, but your name's carved deeper in the stories we tell. The risks we take, the fires we kindle. You're the proof that wealth isn't what you have. It's what you do with it and what it does to you. Your myth doesn't just linger. It shapes the world like a river, carving stone its current, flowing through every era that dares to dream big. The wealth you amassed, gold from Gaul, loyalty from legions, fear from enemies, isn't locked in Rome's vaults anymore. It's woven into the fabric of history, a thread that ties the past to the present. You're not a man now, not even a god. You're a symbol, a spark that ignites ambition and whispers a warning: greatness costs everything. From medieval courts to modern boardrooms, your story's a blueprint and a trap, a map for those bold enough to chase power and reckless enough to think they'll outrun its price. In the Middle Ages, your name's a crown no king can wear, but all want to touch. Charlemagne, crowned Holy Roman Emperor in 800 A.D., builds his empire on your shadow, his scribes, copying your commentaries while his armies march on roads your legions laid. In Constantinople, Byzantine emperors call themselves Caesar, their gold coins, solidi echoing your denarii, their courts steeped in the bureaucracy you birthed. Monks in damp monasteries, their breath fogging in candlelight. Preserve your words, their Latin tinged with awe for the man who tamed tribes and time itself. Your calendar guides their prayers, it's July, a quiet nod to the warlord who became a month, and your stories told in tapestries, your laurel crown, a halo for kings who dream of Rome's lost glory. The Renaissance is your rebirth, a time when wealth and ambition collide like armies on a Gallic plain. Florence's bankers, flush with trade, read your life as a manual for power, their palazzos rising like your Forum Julium, funded by gold you'd understand. Machiavelli, scribbling in exile, sees you as the ultimate prince, cunning, ruthless, betrayed. His pen drips with your influence, urging rulers to wield wealth like a blade, to buy loyalty but trust no one. Artists paint you with a god's gaze, their patrons, Medici, Borgias, aping your style, throwing lavish feasts, and building empires of influence. Your commentaries are printed, spreading your voice to scholars, soldiers, and schemers, each page a lesson in how to bend a world to your will. Shakespeare's London, 1599, brings you to the stage, your life a mirror for a queen's unsteady throne. Julius Caesar isn't just a play. It's a reckoning, your ambition, a warning to nobles eyeing Elizabeth's crown. Beware, the Ides of March echoes in packed theaters, your betrayal, a wound that bleeds anew with every performance. The groundlings, their pennies paying for the show, see themselves in your plebs, cheering for bread and blood. Your wealth, gold charisma vision, becomes a tragedy, a story of a man who climbed too high and fell too fast. Shakespeare's words make you immortal, not in marble, but in minds your name, a synonym for power's rise and ruin. The modern age can't shake you. Napoleon, storming Europe, carries your commentaries like a Bible, his conquests chasing your Gallic blitz, his empire funded by loot like your war chests. He crowns himself emperor, a nod to your laurel, but falls like you, betrayed by allies and his own hubris. The American founders, drafting their Constitution, debate your republic's collapse, fearing a new Caesar in their Senate. Washington, offered a crown, refuses it, haunted by your ghost. Your calendar rules their lives. It's leap years, a quirk they curse, but keep, and your name's a warning. In their speeches, a reminder that wealth and power can choke liberty. The 20th century sees you in new guises. Hollywood casts you as hero-villain-lover. Brando's Anthony Heston's gravitas, each frame a tribute to your larger-than-life aura. Cleopatra splashes your wealth on screen. Elizabeth Taylor's pearls a faint echo of the ones you gave the Queen. Your name's a brand Caesar's palace in Vegas, its slot machines jingling like your coins, its fountains a nod to your aqueducts. Politicians channel your rhetoric, their campaigns built on charisma and cash, while business tycoons, Musk, Bezos, build empires with your audacity. Their billions, a modern take on your Gallic spoils. Your stories taught in schools, a case study in ambition's double edge. Your betrayal, a lesson no MBA can teach. Your wealth's fingerprints are everywhere. The roads you paved lie under Europe's highways, their paths guiding trade as they did legions. Your laws, citizenship taxes, centralized power shape modern states, their bureaucracies, your brainchild. The Vatican, squatting on Rome's bones, uses your calendar, its popes claiming a spiritual throne you'd smirk at. Every election, every rally, every deal sealed with a handshake carries your DNA, the art of turning gold into influence, loyalty into leverage. Your forum, Julium's a ruin, but its spirit lives in every plaza where people gather, dream, and scheme. You're not just a man anymore, you're a question. What's wealth worth if it buys a throne, but not a friend? Your life's the answer etched in Rome's stones. Shakespeare's lines, the dreams of every nobody who wants to be somebody. You showed that gold can build empires, but ambition builds legends. Your betrayal, 23 daggers, a bloodied toga, proves the cost. Power isolates, wealth blinds, and trust is a luxury no fortune can afford. Yet you won. Your name's eternal, your story. A fire that warms and burns, lighting the way for those who dare to cross their own Rubicon. Today, your legacy's a mirror we can't look away from. Every startup founder betting it all, every politician wooing a crowd, every artist defying the odds, they're your heirs, chasing the same spark. Your calendar ticks on July, anchoring our summers, your roads guiding our journeys. Hollywood remakes you, scholars dissect you, and somewhere, a kid in a dusty classroom hears your name and dreams of greatness. You're the proof that wealth isn't what you have. It's what you do, what you risk, what you leave behind. The Tiber flows, the stars rise, and your voice still whispers, take the chance, pay the price, make the world remember. You didn't just live, you rewrote living. Your gold's dust, but your ambition's a currency that never fades, traded in every heart that wants more than the world offers. Rome's gone, its marble cracked, but your name's carved deeper in stories, in risks, in the fire of those who dare. You're not history's richest man. You're its heartbeat, the pulse of every dream that defies the odds, every gamble that changes the game. The Subura's silent. The forum's a ruin. But you're still here, the spark that turns ambition into eternity, the wealth that buys forever. Your legacy's not just a shadow, it's a floodlight, illuminating the paths of those who chase power, wealth, or simply a name that lasts. The world you left isn't Rome's alone. It's a blueprint for ambition, etched in every city, every story, every heart that beats faster at the thought of greatness. Your gold, your conquests, your betrayals, they're not relics. They're lessons alive in the pulse of history, from the cobblestones of medieval Europe to the glass towers of today. You're the man who showed that wealth can reshape empires, but only ambition can reshape time. And your story's a fire that warms dreamers and scorches the careless. In the medieval world, your name's a talisman. Kings like Otto, I crowned Holy Roman Emperor in 962 A.D., wield it like a scepter, their courts echoing your centralized power. Their scribes hunched over vellum copy your commentaries, marveling at how you turned words into weapons. In Byzantium, emperors like Justinian call themselves Caesar. Their laws codified in your spirit, binding an empire that Rome's fall couldn't kill. Your calendar guides their feasts. It's July, a quiet nod to the warlord who made time his servant. Monks in Ireland, far from your Tiber, whisper your battles. Their monasteries built on the discipline you instilled in legions. Your wealth's a myth now, but it's potent, fueling dreams of a new Rome that no king can quite grasp. The Renaissance makes you a star again. In Florence, bankers like Cosimo de' Medici read your life as a playbook, their trade empires built on the same hustle you showed in the Subura. They fund art like you funded games, knowing wealth buys immortality through beauty. Michelangelo carved statues with your stoic gaze, his patrons seeing themselves in your laurel crown. Machiavelli's The Prince is half a love letter to you, urging rulers to spend gold like you did freely, strategically, fearlessly. Your commentaries, now printed, spread to every corner of Europe, their prose teaching rebels and generals how to win wars and mines. Your betrayal's a cautionary tale told in candlelit taverns, a reminder that wealth's a shield, but ambition's a blade that cuts both ways. Shakespeare's stage in 1599 turns you into a mirror for a nervous England. Julius Caesar isn't just theater, it's a warning. Your ambition, a lesson for nobles eyeing a shaky throne. The groundlings, their pennies jingling like your denarii, see their own hunger in your rise, their own fears in your fall. Et tu, Brute isn't just your line. It's a wound that bleeds through centuries, a cry for every dreamer betrayed by trust. Your wealth, gold, charisma, vision becomes a tragedy, but it's also a spark lighting fires in minds that dare to want more. London's theaters built on new wealth owe you a debt. You showed that stories like empires are bought with audacity. The modern era can't dodge your ghost. Napoleon, conquering Europe, keeps your commentaries in his saddlebag. His empire, a remix of your Gallic campaigns, his gold, looted like yours. He falls like you, undone by overreach, but his laws, like yours, outlive him, binding France in your shadow. America's founders wary of your dictatorship craft, a constitution. To block new Caesars, yet their Senate, their roads, their ambition carry your DNA. Your calendar rules their lives, July anchoring their Independence Day, a nod to the man who made time. Bend. Archaeologists dig your forum, unearthing coins that gleam like they did in 44 BC, each one a whisper of the wealth that made Rome and you eternal. Hollywood loves you, turning your life into spectacle. From Cleopatra's opulence to Spartacus's rebellion, you're the warlord, the lover, the betrayed. Your name's a brand. Caesar's palace in Vegas, its fountains, a faint echo of your aqueducts, its slots jingling like your markets. Politicians ape your rhetoric, their campaigns built on the charisma you perfected. Tycoons like Rockefeller or Bezos build empires with your nerve, their billions, a modern take on your Gallic spoils. Your story's in every textbook, a case study in power's price. Your 23 daggers, a lesson no boardroom can ignore. You're not just history. You're the pulse of ambition, the spark of every dream that dares to burn. Your wealth's fingerprints mark the world. The roads you paved guide Europe's trade. Their paths under highways that carry your logic, your laws, citizenship, taxes, power, centralized shape nations. Their bureaucracies, your invention. The Vatican, built on Rome's bones, uses your calendar. Its popes, wielding a spiritual scepter you'd recognize. Every election, every deal, every rally echoes your forum, where gold bought loyalty and words bought love. Your forum. Julium's a ruin, but its spirit lives in every square where people dream fight and scheme their hopes as fierce as yours. You're a question that never fades. What's wealth worth if it buys everything but safety? Your life answers in the marble. You raised the blood. You spilled the name you left. You showed that gold can build empires, but ambition builds forever. Your betrayal proves the cost. Power isolates wealth, blinds. Trust is a luxury no fortune can afford. Yet you won. Your name's a comet blazing through time, lighting every heart that dares to cross its Rubicon. Shakespeare's stage, Napoleon's wars, Hollywood's screens. They're your forum. Now your wealth, the stories they tell. You're still here. In every risk, every gamble, every nobody who wants to be somebody. Your calendar counts our days. Your roads guide our steps. Your battles teach our wars. The Tiber flows, the forum crumbles, but your voice whispers, risk it all. Pay the price. Make them remember. You're not just the richest man. You're the fire that fuels ambition, the mirror that shows its cost. Every mogul, every rebel, every dreamer, they're your heirs chasing your spark, knowing it burns. You didn't just live. You made living a dare, a bet, a legacy that buys eternity with the only currency that matters, a name that never dies. The fire of your legacy doesn't just flicker through history. It roars a blaze that shapes every age, every dream, every gamble for greatness. Your wealth, gold from conquered lands, loyalty from legions, fear from foes, isn't buried in Rome's ruins. It's alive, pulsing in the veins of a world that can't stop telling your story. You're not a ghost. You're a blueprint, a warning, a dare to anyone bold enough to chase power and reckless enough to think they'll outwit its traps. From medieval scribes to modern moguls, your name's a currency richer than gold, buying immortality in the only vault that lasts human memory. In the medieval haze, your shadow looms large. Kings like Frederick Barbarossa, crowned Holy Roman Emperor in 1155, lean on your myth, their armies marching on roads, your legions carved, their courts thick with Latin echo, your commentaries scribes copying your battles with reverence, their quills scratching out lessons in power. In Byzantium, emperors like Basil, barbers wield your title, Caesar Caesar, ruling with the iron grip you taught. Your calendar sets their feasts July, a quiet tribute to the man who made empires tick. Monks in far-off Britain, their cloisters cold, whisper your name, their chronicles weaving you into Christendom's saga, a pagan god turned patron of ambition. The Renaissance is your encore, a stage where wealth and vision collide. Venice's doges, swimming in trade gold, see you as their kin, their palaces rising like your Forum Julium. Machiavelli's Florence buzzes with your ideas, his discourses dissecting your republic's fall, urging leaders to spend wealth, like you, boldly, never timidly. Artists like Raphael paint you with a conqueror's stare, their patrons, popes, princes, funding art with the same flair you used for games. Your commentaries printed across Europe arm rebels and rulers with your tactics. Each page a spark for those who'd reshape their world. Your betrayal's a fable told, in candlelit halls, a reminder that gold buys thrones, but ambition buys knives. Shakespeare's England, 1600, makes you a prophet. Julius Caesar speaks to a nation teetering on civil war, your ambition, a mirror for lords plotting against a fading queen. The globes crowd, their coins clinking like your denarii, see their own hunger in your rise, their own dread in your fall. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, isn't just poetry, it's your life. A warning that wealth and power are choices, not fate. Your story's a hit replayed in theaters built on new wealth, each line a debt to the man who showed that stories like empires are forged with audacity. The modern world's your canvas. Napoleon III, rebuilding Paris, channels your urban flair. His boulevards, a nod to your forum's grandeur. His gold, looted like your Gallic spoils. America's Gilded Age tycoons, Carnegie Vanderbilt, build empires with your nerve, their steel and railroads echoing your roads. Your calendar rules their factories. July marking their deals a silent tribute to the man who tamed time. Historians like Gibbon dissect your republic's fall, their tomes blaming you, praising you, never ignoring you. Your forum's ruins draw travelers, their cameras snapping stones that still whisper your name, each click a coin in your legacy's vault. Hollywood can't resist you. Ben-Hur, Spartacus, Cleopatra. You're the thread, your wealth, the backdrop, your betrayal, the climax. Directors splash your gold on screen, their budgets rivaling your games, but they miss your grit, the Subura kid who turned debt into destiny. Your name's a brand Caesar's salad, a nod to your feasts. Caesar's palace, its fountains mimicking your aqueducts. Politicians from Churchill to Kennedy quote your lines, their speeches chasing your fire. Tech giants, Zuckerberg, Musk, wield wealth like you. Their platforms' empires built on loyalty and fear their risks. Your Rubicon crossed anew. Your wealth's DNA runs deep. The laws you shaped, citizenship, taxes, centralized power, live in every government, their systems, your invention. The Vatican's calendar. Your calendar counts, papal days, July. A quiet nod to your genius, every election, every deal, every plaza, where crowds rally, echoes your forum, where gold bought cheers and words bought love. Your roads, buried under asphalt, guide global trade, their logic. Your gift? Your commentaries studied in war colleges teach strategy to generals who'd salute your ghost, their drones flying over lands you dreamed of conquering. You're a riddle. What's wealth if it buys a world, but not a day? Your answers in Rome's stones. Shakespeare's words, the dreams of every underdog who dares. You showed that gold builds empires, but ambition builds forever. Your 23 daggers prove the cost. Power's a cage, wealth's a trap, trust a myth no coin can buy. Yet you won. Your name's a star, guiding every soul that risks it all. From Renaissance quills to Hollywood screens, your wealth's the story. We tell the fire, we chase the price we weigh. You're here in every leap, every gamble, every nobody who'd be king. Your calendar counts our lives. Your roads carry our dreams. Your battles shape our wars. The Tiber's muddy, the forum's cracked, but your whispers clear. Cross the river, pay the price, make them know you. You're not the richest man. You're the spark of richness, the mirror of ambition, the cost of glory. Every tycoon, every poet, every rebel, they're yours lit by your flame, knowing it burns. You didn't live. You made life a dare, a bet, a legacy that buys eternity with a name that never fades. Your story's not just etched in history. It's the chisel carving every age that dares to dream beyond its limits. The wealth you spun gold from Gaul power, from legions, myths, from your name, doesn't sit in dusty vaults. It courses through time, a current that electrifies anyone bold enough to grasp it. You're not a figure from the past. You're a force, a lesson in ambition's thrill and its sting, a name that hums in the bones of every empire, every hustle, every heart that bets it all on glory. From medieval warlords to Silicon Valley visionaries, your legacy's a pulse beating louder, with every century proving wealth isn't what you hold, it's what you forge. In the medieval world, your name's a war cry. Kings like Henry IV, grappling for power in 11th century Germany, invoke your title, Caesar Kaiser, claiming your mantle to tame fractious nobles. Their castles, built on trade routes your roads inspired, echo the forts you raised in Gaul. Scribes in Carolingian courts, their fingers stained with ink, transcribe your commentaries, studying your campaigns like monks study scripture, each victory a parable of power. In Constantinople, emperors like Alexios rule with your playbook, their taxes and armies shaped by the systems you crafted. Your calendar, with July as its quiet crown, sets their rituals a nod to the man who made empires march in step. The Renaissance is your playground where wealth and ideas clash like your legions. At Alesia, in Milan, lords like Ludovico Sforza fund art with your audacity, their courts glittering like your forum feasts. Petrarch, the poet-scholar, digs up your Rome, calling you a beacon for a world lost in shadows. His words, like yours, turn ambition into art, urging men to rise. Artists, like Botticelli, paint you with a victor's calm, their canvases hung in palaces that mimic your grandeur. Your commentaries, now mass-printed armed mercenaries and monarchs with your cunning, each line a spark for those who'd conquer their own Gaul. Your betrayals, a sermon preached in marble halls. Gold buys armies, but ambition buys enemies. Shakespeare's stage in the early 1600s makes you a prophet for a restless England. Julius Caesar isn't just drama, it's a mirror reflecting a nation wary of its own ambition. The crowd their pennies echoing your denarii, see their dreams in your rise, their fears in your fall. Cowards die many times before their deaths isn't just your line. It's your life, a dare to live boldly even if daggers wait. The play's a hit. Its theaters built on wealth. You'd recognize each performance a tribute to the man who turned gold into stories. Your wealth vision, nerve sacrifice, lives in every actor's breath, every audience's gasp, a fortune that buys hearts across centuries. The modern world's your echo chamber. Bismarck forging Germany in the 1870s channels your unity. His empire, a nod to your republic's iron core. His railroads, like your roads, bind nations. His taxes, like yours, fuel progress. Your calendar rules his bureaucracy. July marking treaties that carry your logic. Across the Atlantic, America's robber barons, Morgan Rockefeller, build empires with your ruthlessness. Their steel and oil, a modern take on your Gallic spoils. Historians like Mommsen win Nobels dissecting your Rome, their books praising your genius while mourning your republic. Your forum's ruins draw tourists, their smartphones capturing stones that whisper your bets, your wins, your blood. Hollywood's your megaphone, Gladiator's Colosseum, Rome's Senate, they're your world splashed with gold and grit. Directors spend millions like you spent denarii to make you epic their stars, growling lines you might have smirked at. Your name's a shorthand Caesar's salad, a nod to your feasts. Caesar's cipher, a code for spies who'd love your guile. Politicians from de Gaulle to Obama wield your rhetoric, their campaigns built on the charisma you honed. Tech titans, Gates, Cooks spend wealth like you buying futures with vision their risks. Your Rubicon in Silicon. Your stories in every TED Talk, a lesson in daring. Greatly your daggers, a reminder no app can code trust. Your wealth's roots run deep. The laws you shaped citizenship taxes, power's core, live in every capital. Their frameworks, your design. The UN's calendar. Your calendar counts. Global days, July. A silent salute to your order. Every debate, every deal, every crowd chanting a name echoes your forum, where gold bought loyalty and words bought love. Your roads under highways carry trade, their paths your gift. Your commentaries read in war rooms teach strategy to leaders who'd kneel to your ghost, their satellites mapping lands you dreamed of ruling. You're a question that burns. What's wealth if it buys a crown but not a friend? Your answers? In Rome's marble. Shakespeare's verse, the dreams of every striver who dares. You showed gold builds empires, but ambition builds eternity. Your betrayal, 23 blades of bloodied toga, shows the cost. Power's a cage, wealth's a lure, trust a ghost no coin can summon. Yet you triumphed. Your name's a comet, blazing through time, guiding every soul that crosses its river. From medieval quills to streaming screens, your wealth's the story. We live the fire, we chase the price we weigh. You're here in every leap, every bet, every nobody who'd be king. Your calendar shapes our summers, your roads steer our journeys, your battles fuel our wars. The Tiber's slow, the forum's worn, but your whispers sharp, risk. It all pay the price, make them know you. You're not the richest man. You're the spark of richness, the mirror of ambition, the cost of glory. Every mogul, every poet, every rebel, they're yours lit by your flame, knowing its scars. You didn't live, you made life a dare, a bet, a legacy that buys forever, with a name that never dims. Your legacy's a river, not just flowing through history, but shaping its banks, carving paths for every soul bold enough to chase a name that lasts. The wealth you forged gold, from conquest power, from words, immortality, from ambition, isn't locked in Rome's faded marble. It's a current, surging through every era, every dream, every gamble that dares to rewrite the world. You're not a shadow of the past. You're a beacon, a story of triumph and tragedy that pulses in every heart that weighs glory against its cost. From the torchlit halls of medieval Europe to the digital hum of today, your name's a spark igniting ambition and whispering its price everything. In the medieval world, your name's a crown worn in spirit. Emperors like Otto III, crowned in 996 A.D., chase your ghost, their thrones built on the unity you forged. Their scribes bent over oak tables copy your commentaries with reverence, each victory a lesson in bending chaos to will. In Byzantium, rulers like Constantine VII wield your title, Caesar Caesar, their armies marching on roads your legions planned. Your calendar, with July as its quiet king, sets their holy days a nod to the man who made empires tick like clocks. Monks in distant Francia, their cloisters echoing with chants, weave your battles into sagas, a pagan hero turned patron of power's art. The Renaissance is your revival, a canvas where wealth paints ambition's dreams. In Rome, popes like Julius II, named for you, build basilicas with your audacity, their gold flowing like your Gallic spoils. Scholars like Erasmus read your commentaries, their pens praising your prose as a model for clarity and fire. Artists like Titian give you a conqueror's profile, their patrons dukes, merchants, funding art with the flair you used for temples. Your betrayal's a fable, whispered in gilded courts. Gold buys legions, but ambition buys daggers. Your words printed in Venice's presses arm rebels and kings, each page a dare to seize their own empire, whatever the cost. Shakespeare's London in the early 17th century makes you a mirror for a world on edge. Julius Caesar speaks to a nation wrestling with power's pull. Your rise a spark for dreamers, your fall a chill for schemers. The crowd their coins clinking like your denarii, see their own hunger in your forum, rallies their own dread in your senate's blades. The Ides of March, our come isn't just a line. It's your life, a reminder that wealth buys thrones, but ambition buys time never enough. The plays of fire spreading through theaters built on new riches each show a tribute to the man who turned gold into stories that outlive stone. The modern age is your echo loud and clear. Disraeli, shaping Britain's empire, quotes your tactics, his policies echoing your road's logic, his wealth drawn from colonies like your provinces. In America, tycoons like Carnegie build libraries with your generosity, their steel empires a nod to your legion's iron. Your calendar rules their boardrooms. July framing deals that carry your order. Historians like Ronke dissect your Rome, their books balancing your genius against your ruin. Your form's ruins draw crowds, their guidebooks praising the man whose gold paved history, each stone a coin in your legacy's bank. Hollywood's your spotlight. The fall of the Roman Empire and Rome cast you as titan and target their budgets, rivaling your games, their drama fed by your blood. Your name's a code, Caesar's cipher, a secret for spies, Caesar's salad, a bite of your feasts. Politicians from Roosevelt to Merkel wield your charisma. Their campaigns built on the loyalty you bought. Tech lords, Bezos, Zuckerberg, spend wealth like you. Their platforms empires of influence. Their risks, your Rubicon, in code. Your stories in every keynote, a lesson in daring the impossible, your daggers. A warning, no algorithm can dodge. Your wealth's roots grip tight. The laws you shaped, citizenship taxes, powers frame live in every state. Their systems, your creation. The EU's calendar, your calendar counts trade days. July a silent bow to your genius. Every speech, every deal, every plaza where voices rise, echoes your forum where gold bought cheers and words bought love. Your roads under concrete carry commerce, their paths, your gift. Your commentaries studied in academies teach strategy to leaders who'd honor your shadow. Their jets soaring over lands you yearn to claim. You're a question that lingers. What's wealth if it buys a world but not a friend? Your answers in Rome's dust, Shakespeare's lines, the dreams of every striver who dares. You showed gold builds empires, but ambition builds forever. Your 23 daggers show the cost, powers a snare, wealth's a bait, trust a dream no coin can hold. Yet you won. Your name's a star guiding every soul that crosses its river. From medieval scrolls to streaming feeds, your wealth's the story. We breathe the fire, we chase, the price we weigh. You're here in every risk, every bet, every nobody who'd rule. Your calendar shapes our summers, your roads steer our paths, your battles fuel our wars. The Tiber's quiet, the forum's worn, but your whispers fierce. Cross the river, pay the price, make them know you. You're not the richest man. You're the spark of richness, the mirror of ambition, the cost of glory. Every tycoon, every poet, every rebel, they're yours lit by your flame, knowing its scars. You didn't live, you made life a dare, a bet a legacy that buys eternity with a name that never dims.